Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hubitat Live. I'm your host, Pete. I know it's been a while, but we are very excited to be back. We got the crew with us, and let's go right to it. We're gonna talk CES. We're gonna introduce our new president and CEO. So let's go to the gang. And who the hell is that?
How excited are we, Pete?
We're very excited. Why wouldn't we be excited? It's been a while. But yeah, you'll notice we have a new guest on our show tonight. It's our new president and CEO, Greg Toth. Greg is going to introduce himself and give us a bit of the state of the Hubitat address, if you will. So Greg, why don't you introduce yourself?
Pete, thank you very much. Chuck, Mike, good to see you guys. I hope I'm not just a guest spot, right?
We'll see how it goes.
It can be a fixture here for sure. Well, thank you. Thanks for welcoming me. He's right. My name's Greg Toth. I started in November as president and CEO. Guys have made me feel very welcome. A fantastic team to work with. Really extended their hand and made me feel like really one of the team. It's a close-knit group. Everybody's been very friendly. The community has welcomed
guys.
me.
We tricked him.
You did. You certainly did. You know, it's felt good though. You know, in that as the business develops and advances, you know, there's so many positive and exciting things to talk about. And I love going into the community and reading all the positive comments. I love the reviews online about our product and our services and those kinds of things. It's a great business to be a part of, and I'm thrilled to be doing it. You know, you think you know home automation. When I first started, I am a neophyte in this compared to everybody else. So everybody's patience has been great, and I really appreciate that. And I'm coming along just like any new user would be, which has been fantastic. But Pete did say to me, Greg, you know, we were going to do this last week, and what's the state of the union for Hubitat? And, you know, that's a great question. You know, what is the state of the union? A couple things. 3 of the guys that are here, you know, Chuck and Mike putting the effort in along with others that a lot of our customers see and hear about online all the time, as well as Pete and Bruce and Bobby and the others. You know, there's aspects of this business that just me being brought on board should tell you about the state of the union of Hubitat, right? It's a growing business. It's a thriving business. We're pushing forward. We're always developing. I think you can see that just by our interaction and what we do for our customers and what we do for our hub. You know, it's an exciting business to be a part of, and there's lots of folks out there that are interested in seeing us succeed, and we feel that. We can feel that in our community. We can feel that in the public. We get so much positive response out there, and we are a growing business, and we are a thriving business, and we are pushing forward with new initiatives and new programs, and it's a prosperous business that should be here for a very long time, and so that's very exciting, and we will continue to keep growing. And growth means a lot of different things to everybody, right? So growth to us is continuing doing what we're doing, great customer service, the advancement we push forward with the hub and the technology behind it. 2020 is going to be exciting. There may be some announcements coming out in 2020. Those are just the kind of things that we hold close to the vest for obvious reasons, right? We want it to be perfect. And so, you know, there's things that will be coming out in the near future that will be exciting to talk about for sure. But we're going to keep those close to the vest. And, you know, when they come out, everybody will hear about them all at the same time. So there are some things around that. We've got great partners out there. We love working with the partnerships that we've got with product manufacturers and distributors. You'd probably notice if you look at the community pushing hard into international sales. We've got hub sales around the world, and you can see that from all the comments we get. So that's very exciting as well. So, you know, as we work on those distributors and resellers, that's going to help us advance into new markets. And so those are all areas of growth for us. The team itself is very cohesive. It's very collaborative. It's probably one of the best technology-focused teams that I've ever worked with, and from that aspect, I think it's very exciting, Pete. So,
yeah,
the state of the union, the state of Hubitat is very strong,
yes,
and continue to push forward. He told me to say that. It made more sense last week.
It does makes sense.
No sense today.
It's perfect.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So a couple of comments here. Mike asked what the next phase is. Like you said, we're keeping it close to the vest, but we have a next phase, and the sign that Greg is here is a sign that we're definitely moving forward, and things are moving strong, and things are great. So yeah, next phase is coming, and you'll find out when it happens. Is kind of the answer there. Richard said he loves your stash. So.
Perfect. Well, I just try to copy Chuck, right? When I saw his, I thought, well, I'm gonna have to put the beard.
Well, it's a full beard. I don't know if you can see. It's all white. So, and then different colors here.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys were just at CES. I'd kind of like to hear some of what your experience was at CES. What'd you guys?
Well, we went. Chuck, Mike, and I all went to Vegas to the CES show.
I've never in my life seen so many cool things that you can't buy anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, just how many, Mike? There were what?
Shinzing Alley, baby. That's all I got to say.
rows of exhibitors that have no intentions of selling their product anytime soon in the U.S., but they're there for other purposes, obviously. But what was the one we looked at and we went up and talked to her? It was a smart dog food bowl, and I said, "Well, that's really cool. When can I buy that in the U.S.?" And
yeah, you got sucked into that one. I somehow managed to avoid that one.
Will it integrate with Hubitat? I think that's what everyone wants to know. Can we get our smart dog bowl to automate with Hubitat?
We will do our best as soon as it starts selling.
All right.
Yeah. So Chuck was there, Chuck and Mike and myself, and it was fun. We had a good time. We were able to see a lot of our friends. And so hi all back to you. Lots of folks that we hear from all the time. Lots of our partnerships, lots of our suppliers were there. So that was pretty cool to see everybody. Mike kept his badge.
Hey, Greg, did you take yours off before you got on the airplane?
All right. So Pete, let me explain to you something.
Okay.
I didn't know this, right? Because I'm not cool enough to know this. So on that kind of tech, kind of electronics show, when you leave the building, which is of course is enormous, right? CES is like every conference you've seen times 10.
Yeah.
Right. Just the area where smart homes were as big as any single conference I've ever been to. And that was just for that aspect. There were 10 others just like it. Well, we walk outside, and of course I've got my lanyard on with my picture, that whole thing that Mike just showed you, right? Yeah. Well, I didn't know that the cool kids take those off when they go outside. So every picture we have where I'm taking a selfie of the three of us, right? We're in front of the Mirage, we're in front of this, we're in front of that. They're just snickering at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, well, you still got your badge on.
Well, maybe you could
so
start
the cool
the next
kids
trend.
need to do that. I did not know to do that.
Well, next year if I come with you, I'll wear my badge with you wherever we go. All right, we'll go to McDonald's.
Somebody's got to take care of Greg. I mean,
there were plenty of folks just like me wearing their badges, that's for sure, but not these two cool guys.
That's right.
Yeah, and those are the same people that had 3 fanny packs and 6 cameras, Greg.
They did. That's true. No, he's not kidding. They did. Yeah, they did. There was lots of people taking pictures of signs.
That's a good look, man. That's a good look. I like that. So I want to just one thing first before we move. Bruce is not here today. He's not gone. He's just not here tonight. So he'll be back. I miss Bruce. It's okay to miss
I saw that. Yeah, people are missing Bruce. Of course, when I was here, people are like, whatever.
That's true.
Bruce he'll probably be on the next one or the one after that for sure. So at CES, I did a couple things, Pete.
Yeah.
We were there walking around, and I kind of pieced together I am not going to call it the top 10 new products at CES. It's not that. I mean, we got our hands on dozens of things, new products, smart speakers, you name it. We even saw a smart hair dryer.
Ooh.
And so what I just put a short list together of the top things that I found interesting at CES, just kind of from a smart home or a home automation kind of view of things. I thought, well, what things did I find interesting? Because when I saw some of the reviews of CES and read through them, look, there's lots of techie guys out there that did a whole rundown on all this stuff. But when I went through it, I found some cool stuff that I thought, you know what, I'll mention those things.
Yeah, go for it. One
thing that I thought was pretty cool, and it's some of these things are completely useless. We know that, right? They're putting the word smart in front of everything. But Cole had a shower head. It's Bluetooth, but it's Harman Kardon-based Moxie speaker. It's pretty expensive, but it's got an Alexa microphone in it, so it's got super sound and it's lit up and it's pretty darn cool. So I thought that was pretty neat. And I didn't order one because it's like $250 or just under, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends at Singlet and LifeX both have new filament LEDs that I played with for a long time. They're that vintage style where it looks like it looks like an Edison LED light, or it looks like an Edison filament light bulb. But they're smart and they come in all sizes. I mean, all sizes. Probably, I don't know, Chuck, we were in there. They probably had 10 different styles?
Could be.
Probably.
There was a lot.
Yeah. They were pretty cool though. So I thought, those would be great. I'll mention those because first off, they work and they look great and it's new. Yumly had a smart thermometer, a food thermometer that I thought was pretty cool because it took the temperature of your oven and the temperature of your food at the same time. So for you guys out there that it fits in, it goes in a grill as well.
Nice.
So, when you're grilling and you want to know the temperature of your grill and the food, it did both. And you don't have to, because you know what they say, right? When you're grilling, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So I thought, wow, that'd be a cool thing to have in my grill. So I dog-eared that one too, because I thought that's pretty cool. Mike would have some interest in this next one. Nanoleaf, those LED panels like you see behind him, they've got a hexagon one, and those are coming out in 2020. And they're going to have a new unified panel, and you can be able to mix and match shapes. So Nanoleaf's got a new product. I played with it there. I thought it was really neat. Mike, you seem to like your panels back there. They're always on and doing their thing.
Yeah, I've got 4 installs of Nanoleaf panels in my house, and you're going to have to tune those guys up because I'm not buying anymore. I've probably got $3,000 worth of these panels in here. I'm not buying anymore. I'm broke.
Well, maybe they can send some to us as testers since we're mentioning them.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, so far, the fact that, they've all used the same API, the hexagonal ones, they're going to be completely different, Greg. I mean, I absolutely have to test them out.
Well, I mean, we've got 76 people watching live. So, I mean, they've got to send us something for that, right?
Oh, come on. We get thousands of people watching these by the end of the week or month. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. We'll get a couple thousand that watch this episode. So we love you guys watching.
Maybe someone will see it. But from the smart house aspect, I'm not going to mention manufacturers' names. There's a couple manufacturers that have some radio wave location identification devices. So it's kind of like Wi-Fi. The device puts out a signal that scans the environment, uses a radio wave, super weak though. But what it does is really cool. It detects a person's body position, if they fall, their health at the time. But it is essentially a radar-based location device. So just think about that for the folks that are, what's next in our industry and kind of things we work on. Just think of some of the applications in your own home where you think, it doesn't necessarily see through walls, although it can, but it can certainly identify you in the room and identify other people in the room, as well as the position you're in the room.
Well,
So-
yeah, tell them about that demo, man. I mean, the demo room that we had up in that suite. Okay, so in the king size, they had one of these sensors stuck up on the wall,
Yeah.
in the master bedroom of this suite, right, in the hotel room. And the minute you got within probably 6 to 8 inches of the perimeter of this king size bed, they had it wired up to a motion. They had it wired up so the night light would come on, the nightstand light would come on,
Yeah.
and then when you moved away from the bed, so basically they had mapped out the perimeter of the bed inside the sensor space, and they were able to detect motion inside that space. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So not just when you walk into the room; it's a specific spot in the room. It'll
A specific
cool.
area inside the room.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And by the way, it wasn't motion based. You didn't have to move.
Yep.
It knew you were there.
The whole time.
So think about this in terms of having to figure out ways to not have the lights in your bedroom turn off, or not have the lights in your living room turn off because you're watching TV. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
When are you going to give me one of these, Greg?
I'm trying. I've got a call with them again tomorrow.
Right.
So hopefully we can get some test units so we can see how they work and how they integrate with the hub. And some of the folks in the senior care industry are most interested in it. But it's an on-the-shelf product right now, not in the U.S. yet. They're looking for U.S. distributors, but it's not terribly expensive. What they quote us, like $60 wholesale. So think
that's going to be $500 to you guys.
Which
if
is
it works as well as we think it's going to be, someone's going to mark it up that much. That, because it was impressive. You could see everybody sitting at the conference room table by the mask that they occupy. I mean, so once it knew who you were, it could identify you in a group of people. So
wow,
it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And then I got one more thing on my whimsical side, only because I thought, geez, if I ever had the money, right? And a company called Sunflower Home Security, I don't know if their name is even relevant, but they had a drone-based security surveillance system, and they called it Bees and Hives. And the bees were the drones, and they're GPS equipped with collision avoidance, the whole thing. But if there's a perimeter alert, the drones take off and monitor your property and show you video and it tracks live of who's in your yard. And so I thought, now that it's 10 grand, right? It starts at 10,000. I think that's what it starts at. But I thought, come on, if you're ever going to have,
give me 2 systems then. I need a backup for that. If I can.
I'll take 2. Yeah. So that was it. That was the Sunflower. I thought it was pretty cool. Who knows if that'll ever get off the ground, but that's the kind of stuff Mike was talking about. So I think they actually sell them. But there are lots of others that we'll never see on the market, but they were interesting to go see. And it was fun to hang out with Mike and Chuck. So that's kind of our CES report.
Okay. One question: were there 50 caliber machine guns on those drones? That was a question.
No, but that was the next conversation, right? Is okay. So now it's you're looking at it. What's the avoidance? What's the deterrent?
That's right. We're here. Watch out for us.
Yeah.
So awesome, Greg. Thanks. That was great. That was a good recap, and hopefully we'll find some ways to integrate with some of this cool stuff as the months and years go by. That's awesome. So now, should we switch gears? I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment, right? It's time for our product of the week.
Everybody's favorite segment. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about microcontrollers here in a minute. We're going to go over, and I've got 5 or 6 of them over on the table. In the meantime, I actually did manage to scrounge up some stuff that I had laying around that some of you may not have seen before. So I'll start out with this guy, right? This is one of our European customers sent this along. It is basically a Z-Wave radiator thermostat, right? Which is cool, right? Except we don't have any freaking radiators in the United States.
Well, some people.
Yeah, some people do if you live in New York City or something, but the vast majority of people in the U.S., we've got forced air heat. So, you look at this thing and you what is this, like some sort, it goes on your wine bottle or something? What is this? Anyway, so I actually did a driver for a Fabaro version of this device, but This one is anyway. So I went to play around with this one today, and of course, it actually wants a radiator. So it blew an error code because it wasn't connected to a radiator. So now I have to go buy a radiator valve. Thank God I didn't have to buy a whole goddamn radiator just so that I can test this thing. Thank you.
You're welcome, people. You're welcome, America.
All right. So that's that. My favorite people, Echolink, released a new Zigbee motion detector, which is supposedly cat-proof, and I wish that it looked like this picture. This is the ugliest thing. I swear to God, I thought this thing was part of a freaking defibrillator, right? I mean, are you kidding me? In this day and age, who's gonna buy this and put it in their freaking house? Jesus. Okay, you want to see a small device? Here you go. Look at this. That right there is a Fibaro sensor. It's a replacement for their binary sensor. Look at the size of that.
Does the same thing. Okay? Does the same thing, right?
No, this does like
10
times more than this thing does. But wow. I mean, seriously. So anyway, yes, this thing is like, $30 or whatever, and it works and it's pet proof, but it's ugly. Who cares? I don't want it. Take it away. Okay, so you saw this. This is pretty cool. So we'll get around to doing a driver for this. It's a binary sensor. Supports all kinds of cool stuff. What else we got? Some of you guys have been waiting for this forever.
The Shelly one?
Shelly Wi-Fi stuff. Okay, they sent me a whole pile of them. And believe it or not, I was kind of skeptical about these, but we'll talk a little bit more about these in the next segment, or when we get over there to the microcontrollers, but these are actually pretty cool. What else we got? We have, we will soon be supporting this, which is, one of the button controllers that the communities wanted to support. And we've got some evaluation ones in that have updated firmware, and they're actually working. So these will be available from RGB Genie soon. Also, is this guy, which is like super cool. Okay, this is a European button controller. It's a European form factor. Okay, this is an 8-button controller. We've already written the driver for it. And you know what? It's not unprecedented, right? This is an AOTech wall mote 4-button controller, right? So, and this is designed to mount on a wall, and this is designed to mount on a wall. This one's Z-Wave, this one's Zigbee. So again, you've got choices, but this is actually a pretty nice button controller. It's got a nice feel to the buttons. So there you go. And I believe that wraps up my new stuff.
So a question, that radiator controller, is that only European Z-Wave or is that American Z-Wave as well?
This specific one is made by a company in Germany. I don't think that they make the US frequency. This one is EU frequency.
Okay.
I've not seen, the company is called Spirit, and I've not seen their products available in the United States. So I think this is only a EU only version.
And then
I said, Fibaro makes one in the US frequency, but it's not as nice looking as this, by the way.
So that EcoLink, is that working? This guy, Eric, says mine just reads temperature.
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Did you want to move over
to
your...
No, it's not fantastic.
The fact it works is fantastic. The beauty of it...
Well, it's pretty hard to screw up a motion detector, for crying out loud. Okay, so, yeah, over here. So, are we on the bunny cam?
We are getting there. All right, yes, we are.
Okay, so what we have in front of you is a whole class of devices called microcontrollers. And these little guys basically are designed to go inside a junction box. That's what they're designed to do. You don't need to explicitly use them in there. You can put them in any kind of box you want. And they have various outputs. Some of these are dimmers, some of these are switches. These all happen to be switches. And the idea is that you connect whatever button device you want, whatever control device you want in order to control them. So you're not limited by the switch, the paddle type or the color or any of that thing that you have to do like with normal switches. So I've basically got a collection of different ones here that I'll talk about. All of these, with the exception of one, they're all in the $45 to $50 range, which annoys the hell out of me, okay, because they're not worth that kind of money. But this is one from Cobino, and this one is $50. And this one's Z-Wave. And then next to it, we've got one from Fabaro. Again, this is another Z-Wave one, another popular one. These two, and then this one is an AOTech model. This one's actually a little bit more. This one's closer to $60. Now this one, believe it or not, I bought one of these to run a fan in my house because some of the other ones I had I was having issues with. And I don't like this one because it actually requires 2 hot leads, because it actually is a relay. You see where the in and out is? It's actually a dry contact relay, which is great if that's what you want. But if you're going to run this thing off 120 volts, you just need to be aware that you need to run 2 hot leads to it, which is quite a pain in the ass, from a wiring perspective. So that's a knock for this one, considering its price. And you'll see that it's really not any smaller than it's the other ones anyway. And again, this is a Z-Wave one. This has been my old standby that I've done in a couple of houses now. This is AOTech's original one. And you can still get these. These are not Z-Wave Plus like all the other Z-Wave ones that you see on here. The cool thing about this, which might not be obvious, is this thing actually has a 3-volt DC output on the back. So I've actually run sensors off of this. I've used this to, as a battery eliminator for sensors for some stuff I had in my attic in my other house. I've not seen any other device that brings that out. So that's kind of cool.
So,
like I said, go
Mike,
ahead.
could you just, for the neophytes like Greg, obviously I know these things. What kind of how would you use one of these in your house? You said you used it in multiple houses.
Well, basically, what you would do, most people would, take one of these, right? You take whatever guts you've got in your box out, you stick this in there and wire it, and then you normally would put something like this over the top of it, right? You put a switch over the top of it. This, in fact, is a push button switch, right? But you could use a regular paddle switch.
It can turn a regular switch into a smart switch, essentially, is what you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
But the idea is if you have some crazy, architectural bent and you actually want to go out and buy custom color switches with specific backplates and stuff, you can't find, smart switches with those types of colors on them. So so basically you can put whatever kind of control device you want in front of it, as long as it's a switch. It could be anything. It could be a push button. I built a little demo here where, you could take this is a contact sensor, a magnetic contact sensor,
mm-hmm.
and it's basically wired up to one of these, right?
Oh, nice.
Right. So what could you do with that? Well, the first thing I could think of was, well, if I wanted to do some, inside cabinet lighting or whatever, hell, here you go, right? Throw that in there, and that, you open the door and it turns the lights on. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is the kind of thing that you can do with those.
Well, thanks for clearing that up for Greg.
Okay. The next one I've got is this is a Zigbee unit, and my house is full of these now. I took all of these out, all the Z-Wave ones that I had, and I replaced them all with these. These are sold by RGB Genie, who conveniently is having a 25% off sale right now. So if you like these, go buy them. I love them because I've got like 50 switches and dimmers in my house, and the Z-Wave commands, they don't have a broadcast command like you can do with Zigbee. And my nighttime routine was, taking quite some time to go through and shut anything off. Now with Z-Wave, I can put them all in a group, and boom, I shut them all off. Whole place shuts down immediately. Freaking awesome. $50 on sale. That's the list price. They're on sale for less than that. This guy here was what I was talking to you about before, which is the Shelly one. Okay, this is a Wi-Fi. Now, normally I wouldn't be even talking about this thing, right? Because Wi-Fi, usually you have to pull it to get updates. they're not they're generally cheap. They generally don't have a local API. They call off to China. Who knows what the hell they're doing behind your back? This thing is not like that. It can integrate with the cloud. It doesn't need the cloud. You can explicitly turn it off. It has a local web-based API, and the updates from it, at least from the switch perspective, don't require polling. So I'm pretty impressed with it. You would not want to deploy a whole house full of these because they are Wi-Fi, and as you can imagine, having 50 of these is going to consume half your, if not all your available IP space on your network, and you have to do some crazy things. But if you're just looking to deploy, one or two or maybe five, it's actually not bad to consider this. The drivers for these aren't done. It is supported by the community, but we will be supporting them. And these things are like ridiculously cheap. They're like less than $20 a piece. You can buy a 4 or 5 pack of them, and they make dimmers too. So, like I said, I was impressed, which is saying a lot for a Wi-Fi device.
Cool.
Oh yeah. So as far as and by the way, all of these guys here, if you're using a push button switch, now I wouldn't suggest getting this one, just because it's like really super loud. But it is only $7 and it's available from the Smartest House. But the cool thing about push button switches is it's real easy to do a 3-way setup. You can do a 3-way or N-way setup with any of these, and push button switches with just one device. So there you go.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So that was
somebody just told me it was time, so that must mean that I'm done. I'm being 86th.
It's 8:32. We've hit our time, guys. We've done our job. We get our paychecks this week. So yeah, that's great. We got to some of the questions in the forum. I know there's more that I missed, but we appreciate everybody who asked questions, and we're actually running a contest right now in the community.hubitat.com, looking for topics that you guys want to talk about on this show. We are giving away a really cool color light panel. Who's that from, Mike? RGB Genie. RGB Genie, that's right. So we're giving away a really cool controller for that, for whoever gives us the best topics. So we'll be looking at those and pulling answers from those and sending a prize to the winner. So one last thing, I want to shout out to Brandon. Happy birthday, Brandon. He said in one of the forums it's his birthday, and he was happy to be watching the show tonight. So happy birthday to Brandon. Anyone else have any last comments before we go? Awesome.
Thank you.
Talk.
No.
Good talk. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's been real, and we hope you check us out in 2 weeks for our next episode. See you later.